Welcome back to Legacy Unfiltered, where we talk about life, love, and legacy. Completely unfiltered. I'm Mariah.
And I'm Tamara, and today's topic is one I think every woman can relate to: dating in your healing era.
Woo! That title alone says a lot. This is for anyone who's trying to love again while also focusing on growth, learning yourself, setting boundaries, and protecting your peace.
Because let's be real, healing doesn't mean you stop craving connection, but it does mean you start choosing differently. So that comes with a whole new level of self awareness.
Exactly. We're getting into what it looks like to date with intention, how to spot emotional red flags, and how to give love without losing yourself in the process.
Woo! Okay, so let's grab your tea, your journal, your glass of wine, get comfortable, and let's get into it. This is dating in your healing era.
T, we both have dated after having our heart broken. I know you've had your heart broken. I've had my heart broken before.
Yeah,
And dating after that, after getting your heart broken, is scary. No?
to say the least. It's
It's
actually
scary.
like terrifying.
Yeah. Because I guess you're afraid of repeating old patterns. You're afraid of meeting the same type of person that you once dated. And so I think being intentional about, let's just say this, dating during your healing era is possible, in my
It
opinion.
is, it's totally possible. It's possible to me in the right time, in my time frame of my healing. You see what I'm saying? Because to me, I'm always healing in some way. But if I'm healing from a particular person, like I feel like if I'm wanting to add another person again, I should wait and do some healing on myself first. So
Hmm.
to me, healing is a working document. Okay.
Yeah,
So I need to be in a specific place in order for me to allow somebody else in that space. You know what I'm saying?
I agree. I think back before I met my husband, I went through a year and a half of
Mm-hmm.
healing from a previous relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And Tamara, you and I took a trip to Italy. That was the beginning of me turning the page and entering this
Yeah.
chapter of my life. And it started with us going to Italy because I was
Yes.
healing from a very traumatic ending to a long relationship that I was in at the time. And my goal when I went to Italy, I told myself from this moment moving forward, I need to be very intentional about me. And that is me mentally, that's me spiritually, physically, and who I allow in my space. I have to be very intentional about that as I'm healing. I can't
Mm-hmm.
just be out here spreading myself too thin. I can't be out here opening myself up to any and everybody to have access to me the way that I once did. So
Yeah.
that really kickstarted my healing era. And again, I will say the key word for me before I met my husband and after I was transitioning out of my previous relation was intention.
Mm-hmm.
Very intentional about, again, who I allowed in my space. And I was never bitter after my previous relationship. I wanted
Mm-hmm.
to jump back into the dating game because
Mm-hmm.
I'm 30 something. I wanted children. I wanted marriage. But I knew after talking with my therapist, I needed to be more intentional. What does that mean? So for me, being intentional is writing down your non negotiables. I took a pen and paper and wrote down, moving forward, these are my non negotiables. And that's something I had to learn from my previous relationship. I didn't have that. I didn't really know myself. So
Mm-hmm.
now that I've learned and I've spent this time, I know what that is for me now. I know that I wanted him to have this characteristic. I know I didn't want him to have this or this. And so write it down. No matter what, these are my non negotiables. And these are things that I want in a partner that I'm flexible with. So after I wrote my non negotiables, I felt like I was ready to jump back into the dating game. Because again,
Mm-hmm.
what I was not going to allow my previous relationship to do was to harden my heart. I was
Mm-hmm.
ready to jump back into dating. T, you know me, like I'm
Right.
a lover's girl. I dreamt about being in this healthy relationship with somebody. And so I was ready to dive back into dating, but I had my list and I had it and I told myself be very intentional and do not make exceptions to the rule. If you
Hmm.
say this is your non-negotiable, stick with it. Don't allow somebody
Hmm.
to come in and make you second guess what your non-negotiable.
Right.
Stay true to that. And so I did it. I dated quite a few people before I met my husband, and then I was easily able to detect who wasn't meant in
Mhm.
my life because I'm like, okay, this is my non-negotiable and he doesn't meet that criteria. Next. And it was okay. It just I was in a good enough space to realize that it was okay for me to set those boundaries and I could walk away from those type of relationships instead of allowing myself to give 3, 4, 5 years knowing that this wasn't someone who I really should have been entertaining to begin with because he was.
Right.
So that's my advice for women who are trying to date during their healing era.
So are you a cut them off completely block kind of person, or are you a person that just you'll keep everything the same, you're not changing your life, and you just will never pick up again? What kind of start your healing steps do you take when you had breakups?
I was typically the block and move on, act like
Hmm.
you never existed in my life type of girl. Because I don't know how to be friends with an ex, and it could be because all of my relationships ended tragically that there was no
Hmm.
room for us to be friends. I
Not tragically, Mariah.
it
That
was
was a
tragic.
lot.
It was tragic. All of my relationships ended tragically. So I get confused when I hear about women being friends with their exes.
Hmm.
Because in my mind I'm like, how? I can never be friends with you because I was cheated on. We can't be friends.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah, I'm block and move on and I don't look back. Once I'm done, I will give you 1,000 chances, but once I'm done, you won't hear from me again. What about
Yeah. So first off, highly recommend when if there is a breakup or any kind of, and let's also just add in all relationships. So relationships, if they're friendships or romantic, they all carry the same grief. To
you? Yeah,
me, sometimes a friend relationship can carry a lot more grief than like a relationship. You know what I mean? It's like a death. Like
yeah,
you're no longer with this person that you deeply cared about, and they're still alive, walking around and moving on, and
yeah.
your heart is still with this person. So it is hard. But one thing that I just highly recommend and I commend you for, because I know how hard that breakup was for you, is we went on a trip. We went on a trip of a lifetime.
Yeah.
And I couldn't think of a better way to really just open your eyes. And that trip was healing for me as well. When you're in that healing era, taking a trip is the perfect thing to do
Yes.
because that trip opened our eyes in so many ways. I needed the trip as well. I wasn't going through a breakup, but I needed to get out and there were some other things I needed to heal within myself. And
Yeah.
traveling, especially out of the country or to wherever your favorite place is, was
Yeah.
the perfect antidote.
Yeah.
And it was we laughed, we cried, we shopped,
Me too.
we it was just it was everything that we needed. But I think to the girlies and the guys out there, have number one, have a person who is down, you know what I'm saying, that will be there for you. We all have one person that you know you can call that will lie for you if you need, you know what I'm saying, that will do anything you need to get out of a space that you don't want to be in. But
Yeah.
also just take a trip. Like
Yeah.
that is the perfect thing to do.
Yeah.
So I just that's in itself is a great piece of advice is to get out and take a trip and learn something new, see other things, get out of the environment that you're in, just to
Mhm.
help your mind get over what's back at home.
Yeah.
And when it comes to breakups, my breakups are very different from yours. So mine were not bad. I don't have bad, didn't have bad breakups. But what was the hard part about them is realizing when number one, you're seeing how a person is and who they are, and we love them for that. But then when you realize that their patterns and things don't align and they don't include you,
Yeah.
and you find that out deeper and later into the relationship, and you try and try and try,
Yeah.
and one day you have to wake up and say, this person is just not for me, and that is hard. There's no bad blood, there's nothing,
Yeah.
it's just this is over.
Yeah.
Like there's a time stamp for all things, and that is hard.
Yeah.
And the alignment part is huge because it's I'm going in this direction,
Yeah.
and then you might be going, and we're both excelling, we're both doing marvelous things. But if it's not coming together, we're not doing it together, or if it's not working, you have to take that beat and say, is this working for me? And it is hard, but if you have a person to help pull you out of that mindset and that time,
Yeah.
it's so important. It's so important. But the healing part of it to me is the healing that you need to do for yourself that doesn't have anything to do with the other person. You know what I mean? If you stayed in a situation too long, what about me allowed me to stay this long or to overlook this? What if there's something inside of me that needs to heal
Yeah.
in order to move forward?
I
So,
agree. I think that's why having a close friend, a close family member, but even a professional therapist
yeah.
really is a key just necessity in this because like you said, Tamara, your relationship is a mirror of who you are moment in time. And so there was something in you that decided to stay or choose this person
Hmm.
to be in a relationship with. So what was it that he was tugging at? Spirit that made you attracted to him. So that's something
Hmm.
that I had to really just sit down and again, Italy kickstarted that off for me
Hmm.
because I was able to see myself differently and I was able to see the world differently. And then on top of that, having my therapist show me areas where I needed to really heal. And then that helped me figure out what it is that I needed to do. And then it also helped me realize what I was looking for moving forward.
All right. So last week we opened up submissions for Ask Ryan T. We love it because me and Mariah, we love to talk and we love just to help. We just love to help people. So thank you all. So we do have a submission.
All the way from London.
You
All the way
guys,
from London.
we're crying. So
Yeah.
shout out to the UK. I just got back from London and that was my first time going.
All right, so the question is all the way from London. Have you ever been in a relationship you knew was no longer serving you, but you were afraid to let it go because of the unknown?
Wow.
What would be a deal breaker? I'm currently with someone who says he loves me, but it often feels like the bare minimum. Should I hold on and hope things get better, or is it time to let go?
Woo!
So I will say, off jump, I've been there.
Yeah.
That was my, not my marriage, of course, but my relationship before my marriage. I was in it for 4 years. I was pushing 30, having fertility problems, knew it wasn't something that I needed to continue, but I was afraid of the unknown. Would I be able to have
Mhm.
kids? Am I running out of time? Is this it for me? Should I just stick it out and hope for the best and pray that things get better? So I've been there. What
Wow.
about you, T?
Absolutely have been there. And the question is so weighted. There's so many different parts to it. So let's just try and help her out.
Were you afraid to let go of the unknown?
Yes. Okay.
Answer is absolutely. I was
Okay.
afraid, and it kept me in the relationship years longer than I should have been
Mhm.
because I was
Yeah.
afraid of not knowing if I would find another partner, if I would be able to have children because my fertility timeline was shrinking just because of my ovarian history. And yes, I was terrified. And it kept me in a relationship longer than what I needed to be.
So yeah, I've been there too. I think what kept me in the relationship was just all the time I had invested, just the investment in itself. And also for me, like I'm a Leo, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm loyal to a default. And it just sometimes it really does not serve me at all.
Yeah.
And I think what I had to do was really choose myself
Yeah.
and to realize if I was with this person and they never changed from
Yeah.
today ever, would that be good? I think for women, we think, oh, it's going to change. They're going to change. I can't accept you for who you are right now with no changes. And I'll be like, oh, they will be great.
Hmm.
Then, okay, you might have some fights, but yeah, stick it out. But if you are hoping that the longer you stay, there will be changes,
Baby.
in my suggestion,
Yes. So would you say that is your deal breaker? So if you are taking the version of your partner today and you're thinking 5 to 10 years from now, am I going to be okay with this version of you? If the
Mhm.
answer is no, is that your cue to say I'm out?
It's
Is
my
that it?
cue.
So that's your cue. Yeah.
It's my cue. It's my cue that, especially if I'm feeling like bare minimum, nothing about me is bare minimum. You know why? Because I don't give you bare minimum. If
Correct.
I'm in a relationship, I give
Yeah.
you my life.
Yeah.
That sounds drastic,
Yeah.
but if I give you my heart, my soul, if I give you everything and
Yeah.
you're giving me scraps and bare minimum, the exchange is not equal.
Yeah.
So you're already in a deficit. You're
Yeah.
already losing.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
I agree.
And at the end of the day, you are basically, what's the word I'm looking for? You're bailing on yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're bailing on yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's, it's not a good place. And then all you're looking for is a healing era. A healing era is what's coming.
Long, yeah.
You're gonna have to survive that.
Yeah. And I will add that you need to sit and think, how does your nervous system feel when you're with this person? If you are constantly anxious, if you overthink, if this person doesn't make you feel safe, that is a deal breaker because it's not going to get better.
No,
It's not going to get better. And
no.
that became my deal breaker in my previous relationship. My therapist was telling me, you're too anxious all the time. I wasn't leaving my home for weeks because my nervous system was out of whack and I wasn't healthy and I wasn't happy. So, should I stay in a relationship with someone who says they love me, but it often feels like I am receiving the bare minimum? The first step of advice that I would give is, have you communicated that with your partner? Have you created a list of things that you need from your partner to feel loved? And if
Mm-hmm.
the answer is yes, you have communicated your needs and they still aren't delivering, then that's when you may need to make some decisions about whether or not this is worth staying in or moving forward. And you have to decide how long you want to give your partner time to show you that they're capable of giving you what you need. But if you feel like this is something that you've been talking about for months or years and you're still receiving crumbs, that's a sign that it might be time for you to,
Prioritize yourself and what you
yeah,
want out of a relationship. You're the only person in the relationship who you can control
yeah,
is yourself. And if you are not feeling empowered and just great in the space,
yeah,
you can do that by yourself. I know a lot of people, they want to be with somebody, and of course, like I understand that, but if you are in a relationship and you're not getting out of it what you want from a relationship, what is the point of being in a relationship?
yes,
It's always going to fall short. And also, it's not fair to the other person. You know why? Because the longer you stay, they think it's okay. Why would they stop if nothing happens? You don't go anywhere. They can continue to do what they do. So if you're saying, I this is what I need, and they don't give it to you, but you just keep on anyways, you're not giving them a good example of how to treat you. I
to
mean,
answer her question, should I hold on and hope things get better or is it time to let go? I think that's not something that you and I can answer for somebody.
no.
I always say when it's time to move
Yeah,
on.
you will know the
Well, no,
day, the seconds.
there is something that happens in your spirit and in your soul, and
Let's just talk about that.
you have this sense of peace
Yes.
when you're ready to move on. If you're still questioning it or if there's a little bit of anxiety, it may not be time. So wait until you have sat back and analyzed and you have this clear picture of what you want to do.
Definitely trust yourself. You have to know how to trust yourself and know when something doesn't feel right, it's not right. And you have to stand on that for yourself because no one, not the person, no one is going to do that for you. If it doesn't feel right, if you are asking us this question, in my opinion, you already know the answer. The answer is already in you because you don't feel 100 in where you're standing. And I can't tell you when that's going to be. I can't tell you. One day you will wake up or something will happen and you will snap it. It will just be what it is. And if you want to work it out with a person and you're going to give them a chance or give them grace or whatever to continue, then that's your choice as well. But the biggest thing is trust yourself. Trust that inside pulse and inside voice that talks to you that everybody have, especially women. We have a gift of just knowing.
And I'll end, and we can wrap after this, but I also want to end with saying that trust that everything's going to be fine no matter what.
All right, and now it's time for our small business shout out. We are super excited for our special guest today. We have Jasmine Gonzalez. Welcome, girl.
Hi. Hi,
We're
everybody.
so happy to have you here today. I'm going to let you tell everyone about your business. You have an amazing company that you started. So just tell us your company name and how you started it.
My company name is Healing Roots Maternal Alliance. It's a nonprofit serving the state of Texas as of right now. We are certified in the state of Texas, so we can take tax deductible gifts at this time, and we're able to take people for community hours as well. But basically what it is a program for minority mothers where we're addressing the gap between when a woman has a baby and the 6-week appointment after birth. So basically we're targeting that space because what we're seeing is that women are dying, and especially Black women, they're 3 times more likely to die during childbirth and after birth, up to 1 year, in comparison to white women, even women that have the same level of education, married, all of those things. So we're basically serving in that gap. So we do nurse home visits, postpartum support groups, and we're just also just working to try to educate and just bring providers up to date with like best practices when it comes to just being unbiased when it comes to healthcare. So really just addressing those things to help the maternal mortality rate in Texas.
Awesome. So how do families find out about you in that period? So once they've had the baby, do they reach out to you personally? Do you guys have a database that gives you notice that there are new moms in the area, or how does that work?
So as of right now, we're mostly word of mouth, and I do have a few providers that I know personally, OBGYNs, and what they would do is give their information to a mom in their office that they might feel would benefit from the program. A lot of single mothers or first-time moms. You don't have to necessarily be a minority to receive the services or help. So basically, they would just refer you, and then we would reach out and decide if you need a home visit or if you just need a virtual call just to see what your needs are. And eventually I'm hoping to be able to link up with hospitals and have the nurses give our information out to women before they go home so that they're able to reach out to see if they need any help at that time.
So, what inspired you to start this?
I would say the biggest one, I'm a mom, so I have twin boys. They're 4 years old and they keep me super busy. Yes, Auntie Rye knows. And outside of that, being a minority and a mother, and I had a high risk pregnancy on top of that and experienced a lot of the stuff that a lot of women are experiencing that is leading to these issues, not listening to our pain, not listening to when we feel something's not right in our own body. So just having experienced that myself, and then also having a few patients of mine that I've worked with in case management that I have had recently this past year had someone actually die, and she was only 29 years old and left behind about 4 children. And that just really tugged at my heart just because she had no health problems at all, no history of any complications in birth. So for her to pass away just less than a week after she gave birth on Christmas Eve just really something in me just woke up and was like, we have to do something about this. We can't have any more moms die just because of bias, or as of right now, they're saying they're not sure why there's a gap, but I think we all know that there are biases in healthcare. So we're working to address it and make it better. That's my hope.
So, where can people find you on Instagram?
So right now on Instagram, we're at Healing Roots MA, Maternal Alliance. So just Healing Roots MA. And then you can also go on our website if you'd like to be involved at www.healingrootsma.org. And you can get information there on what we have going on. And then also just fill out like a submission form if you're interested in getting involved. We love students, nurses, doctors, women, anybody who's interested in being a part of it. Definitely reach out and see if there's a way you can get involved.
So are you a 501c? Do you have your or are you working on it? If people want to donate, is why I'm asking.
Yes, we did get our status completed this year in March. Thank goodness. So we are able to receive those tax deductible donations, and you're also able to donate through our website, and you will receive like a letter stating all the information that you'll need during tax time to get that gift deducted. Yes.
Great money well spent and a wonderful cause to stand behind. So, Jasmine, you had started your company based off of you saw a need and a pain. So, what advice can you give to a new business owner or somebody that is thinking about branching out and putting their passion to work? What is a piece of advice or just something you would tell them ahead of their journey?
I think the biggest thing is just starting, making sure that you don't allow anything to discourage you from doing what you're passionate about. For me, I'm not a huge social media person. I don't have a huge following. I'm just a mom, not just a mom, but I'm a mom and a nurse. And I at first was a little discouraged. No one's going to pay attention, and it's already hard enough because Black women aren't being heard. But for me, that just gave me the inspiration to put myself in that place even more, because that just shows how much we're truly needed. And so for me, it was just one, what sparked it was I was actually laid off earlier this year. And during that time, I said I trusted God was going to handle it, and he did. And then in the meantime, I got my nonprofit going and just put one foot in front of the other and just said, it doesn't matter how many people show up, just as long as I'm
Yeah,
there providing the
yeah.
service. And even if I just help one person,
Just one life.
right, then that makes a difference
Wow.
for me. So that's why we're here.
Hmm.
So, yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Jasmine,
Okay,
for your
Lauren.
work and your passion for moms out here because Lord knows we need it.
Oh,
So
we
thank you
definitely
so
do
much.
it. Thank you
Thank
guys for
you,
Yeah.
having me and shedding
Jasmine.
light
We
on this.
love
I appreciate it.
you.
I love you too. Thank
Love
you.
you. Give my nephew some kisses from me.
I will. I will.
All right. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to Born to the Game Legacy Unfiltered. Don't forget to subscribe, submit your questions for Ask Ryan T, follow us, and also keep tagging those small businesses. Do you want your business shout out on Born to the Game Legacy Unfiltered? Don't forget, tag us. Thank you so much. See you
Thank
soon.
you guys.